Hi there, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's okay.
Yeah.
John, just to let you know as well, there's two people, one person that just needs to present first because they're going, they need to pop off, but everyone else is in alpha order by surname.
Hi everyone, this is John Huxmar from Digital Health. Great to have so many of you on the call today. This is the highlight of the week. It's the CNIO Advisory Panel Hustings webinar. It's where all of our lovely candidates for the CNIO Advisory Panel are going to do their 1-minute stump speech and set out the case for why you should lend them your vote. No, other way around, why you should vote for them to be a member of the advisory panel for the next 2 years. This is the only kind of leadership community of nursing digital leaders that directly elects its advisory panel. And from that advisory panel, there'll then be a subsequent election for the chair and vice chairs. Yeah, third one of this week, and we've had two very good hustings for the CIOs and the CCIOs, but I think this is going to be the highlight. We all know it's been building up to this one today. So I hope you're all sat comfortably. Just the usual bit of housekeeping. If I could just ask you to have your microphone off when you're not speaking, and then I'll call on people in alphabetical order. And should be pretty straightforward. If we have time, I'll put a question to everyone at the end, but that'll be based on how well we kind of keep to time. Okay. I should mention we've got 2 videos and we've got some apologies, but I'll name those as we go through them. We will be going alphabetical order by surname, with the exception of our first person, who unfortunately has to dash off, so we're going to call on her first. And that first person is Misbah Mahmood, who is a current member of the CNIO advisory panel. She is CXIO and Chief and CSO at Bradford District Care Foundation Trust. Misbah, are you there?
I am. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Thank
loud and
you.
clear, Misbah.
Right. Hi, everyone. So I'm Elizabeth Mahmood, and I'm standing for re-election for the CNIO Advisory Panel for the second term. I am a midwife by background and have over 10 years experience of being a midwife and working in digital for the past 6 years. I was the first Deputy Chief Midwifery Information Officer in England, and now I'm working as a CXIO at a mental health trust. I bring a unique blend of clinical insight, digital expertise, and strategic leadership. My work has involved implementing EPRs, digital self-referral tools, and patient engagement platforms. And my skills have been highly transferable across healthcare settings. I've led cross-functional teams, built clinical safety frameworks, and worked to ensure digital tools meet the needs of both our patients and our professionals. I understand the importance of translating frontline challenges into digital solutions that work regardless of specialty. As I was the first midwife that was elected onto the CNI advisory panel, I have championed the diverse clinical perspectives, supported the mentoring programme, and I've spoken nationally at Rewired and Summer School and really championed the voice of midwives on the advisory panel. And John's sick of me always mentioning, what about midwives? I'm passionate about collaboration and making sure all voices are represented in digital health leadership. If re-elected, I will continue to advocate for safe, inclusive and impactful digital transformation across the NHS. So thank you so much for your support.
Oh, thanks, Misbah. It's difficult to imagine a time before we had lots of great midwives on the CNIO network. So done a great job championing them. Okay, next candidate, and now we switch back to alphabetical order. It's Felipe Alves, who's the Group Chief Nursing Information Officer at Royal Free London NHS FT. Felipe.
He's not here.
Okay. Apologies. So on to the next one. Next candidate is Lynn Averill, who's the CNIO at Dorset County Hospital, NHS FT. Exciting things happening in Dorset, I understand. Lynn, are you there?
Hi, yes, I am, thanks. And yes, there'll be exciting things to come in Dorset. I'm really happy to be here today amongst this great group of candidates. To the panel, I think I bring my own experiences of working in acute, community, mental health and primary care trust settings. And I've been lucky enough to have a variety of roles in digital services over the last 8 years, which has allowed me to gain insights into what's working well now and what we could improve collectively. Whether that relates to digital literacy and upskilling or ensuring the worth of digital clinicians is truly understood and showcased as part of the DDAT workforce, which is needed more than ever in light of the lack of national digital workforce plan. I'm keen we utilise human-centred design approaches to truly transform services and embed digital clinical safety as part of the wider patient safety agenda and not see it as an add-on. And I valued being a CNIO mentee last year, so a shout out to Hayley if she's here, and would value the opportunity to support others. I believe we need to collaborate and not reinvent the wheel, especially as resources are scarce, and I would actively listen to all and act as an advocate, as ultimately people power is key. If elected, I'll be an enthusiastic and supportive addition to the panel in these changing times. Thanks.
Brilliant, thanks, Lynn, and very topical with no kind of digital kind of workforce strategy. Okay, next up we have Jodian Barrett, who's the Deputy CNIO at Imperial College Healthcare NHS Trust. Jodian, are you there?
Hi, John. Yes, I am. Thank you. Hi, also, I'm Julian Barrett. So I am a peds nurse by trade. Although since the lockdown, I've been working across adults and pediatric services. I would like to build a diverse cross-functional team if I was selected. So I believe, especially for the nursing agenda, we need to be able to work collaboratively with all the different teams across the team. And also in terms of the digital literacy and using data-driven digital literacy to help our future workforce would get us. So if I was elected to the panel, that's what I would choose to do.
Brilliant, thanks, Jodian. Great kind of geographic kind of spread of candidates, by the way, as well as kind of by backgrounds. Next up, we have Liam Bastian, who's Chief Pharmacy Information Officer at Royal Cornwall Hospitals, NHS Trust. Liam, are you there?
I am indeed, John.
I feel like
Thank
I'm
you.
warming up Eurovision here, yeah? So I'll try and avoid the
I haven't prepared a song. I'm really sorry, although you'll all be grateful if you ever do have the misfortune of hearing me sing. Hi everyone, I am Liam. I am Chief Pharmacy Information Officer down in Cornwall to increase your geographic spread a little bit. I have been in the digital space for a long old time now, 6-7 years, rolling out digital system, DPMA and others across acute, community and mental health trusts, and we are currently in the middle of throwing all of that out the window and installing a big box EPR system to replace them all across all 3 of those sites, which is a pain that I'm sure many of you will share. I am a pharmacist rather than a nurse or a midwife. I am a great believer in doing things once for everyone. My platform, I guess, is networking and career pathways, something that I'm sure many of you would support and share, that these things should be cross-discipline. They're not something that's unique to pharmacy, they're not something that's unique to nursing, and reinventing the wheel is one of the frustrations that I don't think we should be doing. If elected, I would be supporting those roles. I have a strong voice in pharmacy, but I would be looking to use my skills and my knowledge and my experience to give some perspective to the rest of the group as well on how we can try and solve those issues for everyone once and for all.
Brilliant, thanks, Liam. Next candidate we have up is Jaja Yopalin, who's Service Manager Social Care. Jaja, and I hope I pronounced that right. Are you there?
Yes, I am here. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Yes, so thank you very much, guys. So my name is Jaja. Some of our residents call me Jaja Gabo, if that makes it easier for them to remember and maybe easier for you to remember. I know it's spelled differently, but it is. So I'm currently working as a service manager for Gold Care Homes. But prior to this, I was actually the quality and transformational facilitator for a Morecambe Bay Trust up near the Cumbria. So the reason why I want to join to this one is because I've seen the NHS and now I'm currently in social care And I have seen the difference of information digitally, that what NHS has and what the social care or nursing home has. And we do have a little bit of access to the GP records and a little bit of what we call the London Care record. And I feel like being in the digital health, we need to be able to downstream this information from the NHS and to the people who are actually going to be using that on a long-term basis. As if this will make more informed decision when it comes to our GP, or most likely for our nurses, on how to look after these residents. So I want to be able to be part of that discussion, so that when we develop things or have initiative, I want to be able to be a representative for social care, because I can see a lot of people are from the NHS and very little from the social care, which we also use the same digital information. And I want to be able to share my thoughts, ideas, and be part of that growth to make sure that we amalgate somewhat NHS and social care information to look after our residents and patients. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next candidate is Karen Bridgman. Karen is Digital Matron at University Hospitals of Morecambe Bay NHS Trust. Karen, are you there?
I am. Hi, everybody. So I am a midwife by background. I have over 20 years of experience in maternity services and over 7 years experience in digital services, including a rollout across the whole of South Australia a few years ago. So I have worked internationally as well as in the UK. I have a very strong passion for patient safety and governance above all else. I think there is a potential to sometimes come across as anti-innovation with this mindset, but I am absolutely not. I've worked in digital for too long. I think the rate of change is almost impossible to keep up with at the moment with tech, and we have to be really aware of deploying new innovation at pace. I want to be able to do this by using my voice at the AI Ambassadors Network Steering Committee that I've just joined, and hope to standardise the approaches and embed some clinical safety measures into these implementations so that we can do it safely at pace. I've got a very firm eye on the impacts on clinicians as well as patients and the onward impact onto the care of patients. I want to really deep dive into the cognitive burden from new technology and its influence on clinician burnout, and obviously then the impact on care provision. I would also like to consider ways of simplifying EPR systems. I think they have become quite onerous these days, again adding to cognitive burden, as I've just mentioned. And I do work very strongly with data quality projects and trying to improve data quality at the front end. I think embedding technology needs to be done efficiently, but more importantly, safely. Thank you.
You're on mute, John.
I'm on mute. Sorry about that. Karen, I was just saying, thanks very much for that. I remember many moons ago schlepping all the way up to kind of Morecambe Bay to be shown the first ever Lorenzo deployment. And then one of your colleagues who was there at the time was a nurse saying, yeah, you'll have to wait about 5 minutes whilst it powers up. It takes forever. So many, many moons ago. Of course, none of that kind of thing happens anymore. Next up, we have Emily Birch. Emily's current member of the advisory panel, has been a regular kind of through summer school and Rewind. Emily, good to have you standing again.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. I'm Emily Birch. I'm the Chief Nursing Information Officer at the North London NHS Foundation Trust. We're a newly formed trust in London, comprising of 2 mental health trusts that were previously Barnet Enfield and Haringey. So we serve all. I'm delighted to be here and really excited about re-election. There's so much work that has already been done to support bringing together representation and making sure that we're an inclusive panel, that we're covering AHPs, midwifery, paediatrics, but also mental health. That is the area that I'm passionate about, and I've been working in mental health for the last 13 years. Since being on the panel, we've been able to push forward to make sure that mental health nursing in digital has representation at Rewired, making sure we've had 2 sessions at the nursing midwifery panel, is it? It's Nursing and Midwifery Stage.
Conference.
Thank you. And we also had our very first community of practice workshop at the last Rewired, and what I heard there was an incredible need for the voice of mental health nursing in digital to explode. Mental health nursing, according to the DMA results, very much underrepresented in the nursing sphere in digital, and I think we've got so much to do with innovation, with equity, and with my background as a Topple Fellow, a Florence Nightingale Foundation scholar, and the work that I've been doing in our organisation to merge 2 EPRs into one to deal with a cyber attack from Advanced and innovate as the first mental health trust to have a patient portal for children and young adults, to have Wayfinder through the NHS app. I know how to move change forward and to create communities of practice, and I want to continue to do so to make sure that we are building a sustainable workforce and that there is a replacement to knock me out of this panel in the future and stand up and make sure that they're leading the way for mental health nursing, and I can go and retire. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. Next up, we have Dale Carrington. Dale is Chief Nursing Midwifery and AHP lead at North Middlesex Hospital, part of the Royal Free Group. Dale, are you there? To be fair, we had a question mark against whether Dale was able to make it. Okay, in which case then we'll move on to Melanie DeWitt, who's CNIO North Bristol NHS Trust. Melanie, are you there?
I am definitely here. Thanks very much, John. It's lovely to see so many familiar postings at Hustings today. And isn't it an inspiring group of nominees we've got to choose from? I wanted to thank you all for taking the time to be part of this process. I know it's difficult to get away. Things are really challenging right now. We know that digital technologies offer huge potential to improve care, but we're all feeling the pressure to deliver more with less, working at pace, but also trying to maintain safety. That's why collaboration between all of us is more important than ever. Across professions, organisations and borders, I've seen how shared learning drives innovation. If I'm selected for the CNIO panel, I'll champion that spirit, supporting the spread of best practice, strengthening the evidence base for clinical informatics, and amplifying the voices of digital nurses, midwives, and AHPs. I'll advocate for digital education, especially in data literacy, because that's such a challenge for us at the moment, and push for national standards that support long-term success. Together, we can build a future where digital excellence is shared, supported, and sustained. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Melanie. Next up, we have Gail Dello, who's the lead digital midwife at Bedfordshire Hospital's NHS FT. Gail, hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How about you?
Good, I'm good, thank you. So imagine a future where every voice is heard and every professional is empowered to lead with confidence and innovation. I've been working in digital since 1999, but managed to go things a little bit backwards and went into midwifery 15 years ago. The NHS thrives on diversity of its population, and the CNIO panel needs to reflect the vast talent that we have across NM AHP. Therefore, we must continue our recruitment from various professionals led by the panel. And education is something I'm also passionate about, from integrating digital literacy into postgraduate programmes, moving beyond pen and paper to demonstrate excellent digital record keeping. At a trust level, we must alleviate fears around EPR rollouts and system changes by supporting digital literacy throughout the organisation for lasting success. Together, we can build a future where inclusivity and education drive innovation, ensuring that every member of our community thrives. Let's make this vision a reality.
Thanks, Gail. That's a very kind of tight and concise, good pitch there. Next up, we have Janet Dodd, who's the CNIO at Sheffield Children's Hospital NHS FT. Janet, hi.
Hi, John, and hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting me to this and how to follow all these great presentations, but I will try So I am Janet. I am the CNIO at Sheffield Children's Hospital. I trained here many years ago, and I've got over 30 years of experience within paediatrics, including intensive care and neonates. So I'm very well placed to sort of support and represent paediatrics within your group should I to be successful. I've only been CNIO since September. However, I had about 2.5 years as digital matron before that. And I'm one of these people that have ended up in digital. It wasn't where my career was aiming for. But now that I'm here, I'm very passionate and have thoroughly enjoyed the challenges and the successes that we've had across our trusts where I've managed to implement electronic prescribing and observations. And we've really amongst other things, and we've really changed the way that we actually implement so that we are putting the end users at the forefront. As I say, I'm really passionate about making a difference for both our children and young people and for colleagues across the trust. And if I can support and help across nationally, that would be a huge achievement. I'm very solution focused and I'm very much involved with networking and sharing good practice and innovation. Like people have said previously, it's about collaboration. It's about us not all working in silos, but working together to achieve great things, which I think we can. I've recently been on the mentorship program, and I understand how that has helped me and others, and I'd like to sort of be involved with that as well. And I'm just committed really to improving quality and outcomes and making a difference. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Janet. And thanks for mentioning the mentorship program. I think that's been one of the unquestioned kind of highlights and successes of the CNIO network, championed by the CNIO network over the last 3 years. And it's great to hear kind of people kind of standing for election who have both been mentors, but also kind of mentees as well. And that's certainly something we see as kind of something we hope that the newly elected advisory panel will want to further kind of develop and continue. Okay, next up, it's Nang Taig Annual Akuma. Again, apologies if I've mangled your name. EPR Education and Training Lead at University Hospital Derby. Oh, I'm sorry, I spoke of you, please.
Yeah, that's fine. My name is Nantege. I'm the EPR Education and Training Lead for University Hospitals of Derby, Burton, and Chesterfield Royal Hospital.
I'm really sorry. Could I just ask you to turn up your volume? It's difficult to hear.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, so my name is Nantege. I'm EPR Education Lead for University Hospitals of Burton, Derby, and Chesterfield Royal Hospital. My background is coming from emergency nursing. I have a global experience having worked in Ghana and supported some digital projects. I also was with the University of Derby as senior lecturer, so I'm coming into this role with a lot of education background. My aim, if elected into this advisory panel, is to drive innovative education and training. In EPR, I know the NHS is very much reliant on e-learning as our main source of training our staff, but I think there are so many avenues that we can use to train people on EPR, including simulations. I've done simulations both in disaster management and in cold environments for a while. So I'm looking to bring on board a research background and also innovative education, which I think that will change the face of training end users to engage better with new EPR systems that are being brought. I've also noticed in my recent role that we don't tend to publish a lot. The work that we are doing, we don't share. And sometimes we are even afraid to share our failures, quote and unquote. However, without sharing these, we can never learn, and we will only set our colleagues to also fail. So I want to come in and encourage people to share whatever the journey is, whether positive or negative, and also to take up more innovative ways of training our end users. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next candidate we have is Hayley Grafton, who's sent her apologies. Hayley is the current chair of the CNIO network. She took on the role from kind of being vice chair back end of last year when Simon Knoll, who had been the chair, took on a national role. I'm sure that what Hayley would say in terms of kind of that sharing of kind of things that go not so well as kind of things that go well is that that's one of the core things I think the advisory panels do very well. I think there's a portion of kind of each meeting which is a check-in where people are really being quite open and candid about how they are, what's kind of top of their kind of mind. It's not necessarily therapy for CNIOs, but there's a lot of good sharing that goes on. Okay, next up we have Laura Harmon, who's digital midwife at Buckinghamshire Healthcare NHS Trust. Laura, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Thank you, everybody. It's really nice to be here today. So I am a midwife by background. I've been a midwife for over 5 years now, and spent the last 3 in digital. So I know that I'm still quite early on in my career, but for the past 3 years, I have been acting as an advocate for maternity services in my trust and to ensure that we're not siloed amongst the acute side, which I have seen massive progress with over the last 3 years, which is really great. I do have a passion for driving change and bringing all our colleagues together to provide safe and effective care through digital innovations. My experience has recently widened across neonates and paediatrics as well, so I'm wanting to sort of take them on a journey as well to make sure that they're not siloed within the trust, which is working really great. My main priority is patient safety, and the main reason I applied to be on the advisory panel was to gain support nationally and also to drive that change nationally as well. So I do want to join the advisory panel to share these skills and learn from others across the digital nursing platform to ensure that collaboration happens across all different sort of job roles. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Great to have you standing, and it's great to have such a kind of wide range of candidates and new kind of folks standing. Very, very encouraging. Next up, we have Raphael Jesus, Digital Clinical Change Manager at Royal Berkshire NHS Trust. Raphael, are you there?
Hi, hello. Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes, good.
Hi, hello, everyone. So yeah, my name is Raphael. It's my first time applying for the CNIO advisory panel, and I'm very excited. I am a nurse by background with over decades of clinical experience across critical care, in that it's emergency departments and intensive care, but also some community urgent care. So I now work as a digital clinical change manager in digital transformation implementation within the DDAT team at Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading, working in different projects over the trust, bridging the gap between the frontline staff and the digital teams. So with my experience, I bring a deep understanding of both worlds, the clinical pressures that our team faces on a daily basis, but also the digital solutions that could make a difference to our clinical staff. I bring hands-on experience leading system implementation and championing clinical engagement and ensuring digital changes deliver actual real patient benefits. Why did I decide to become a digital change and management manager? Because I'm passionate about making digital applications working for clinicians, and it should not be the other way around. Should not be us as clinical staff to adapt to the applications. If elected, I will be representing the voice of those on the ground while driving forward a vision of safe, meaningful, and inclusive digital transformation for nursing, midwifery, and all healthcare professionals across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Next up, we have Roxanne Jones, who's cross-site lead digital midwife at Frimley Health Foundation Trust. And Roxanne is the first of our candidates, first of 2 candidates today, who've done a short video. Lauren, can you weave your magic and get the video queued up?
Hi, my name's Roxy. Thank you so much for giving me the time today to have a chat about why I feel I'd be a good candidate for the panel. I've been the lead cross-site digital midwife at Frimley Health for the last 4 years now. Within my role, I've just within my own trust have acknowledged just how little maternity is known about or even considered when it comes to any decisions, let alone digital. So it's been my absolute goal to advocate for us and make sure that we're a part of those conversations when it comes to digital innovation and also our trust strategy, especially from a digital aspect as well. By being a panel member, I feel that this would give me a legitimate seat at the table to really push maternity into the forefront of digital innovation and just digital healthcare in itself. So thank you so much for reading my bio. Thank you so much for listening to my video. And yeah, thank you so much overall.
Thank you, Roxy. A reminder to everyone that both bios and mini manifestos are posted on the discourse kind of thread. Thanks everyone for providing those. And do take a look at them before casting your vote if you haven't voted already. Next candidate is Sherry Lewis, who's Senior Midwifery Information Officer at one of the Welsh University Health Boards. I'm going to ask you, Sherry, to pronounce that one for me.
No problem. Hi everyone. So my name is Sherry Lewis and I am Senior Midwifery Information Officer at Cwmtaf Morgannwg University Health Board in Wales. And to my knowledge, I'm the only Welsh candidate standing. So just repping the Welsh Dragon there. I've been a midwife for 13 years now, and although I've only formally been in a digital role for the last 2 years, I've definitely been a digital innovator throughout my career. It's just that we've only had these roles in Wales for the last 2 years, so that's really exciting. So what I can bring to the panel is a national perspective from a devolved health system with its own digital strategy, legislation and challenges, which will help to ensure UK-wide policy actually reflects the full diversity of our systems and populations. So I've led nationally recognised work tackling digital exclusion in maternity services through the now award-winning Maternity Data Bank. That's involved influencing policy and practice, and it's been recognised by the Chief Nursing Officer for Wales and the Royal College of Midwives. I'm also currently a Florence Nightingale Foundation Leadership Scholar, and that's meant that I've had the opportunity to speak nationally around digital inclusion and also the value of clinical digital careers. I'm really passionate that these roles must be seen as permanent essential members of digital teams, not just temporary or secondments or as a second thought, how it often feels. I'm also currently part of the CNIO mentorship programme, which has been really instrumental in my development as a digital clinician, and I'd really love the opportunity to give back to that process. Later this year, through my Florence Nightingale Scholarship, I'll be visiting New York and Boston to explore global innovation and AI in maternity care and beyond, and we'll be bringing back lots of learning. I've co-designed safety tools, embedded inclusion into clinical pathways, and I champion frontline voices in every stage of digital transformation. I'm really keen to bring my experience, but also to learn from colleagues to strengthen our collective impact. So if you're looking for someone who can connect strategy with delivery and brings underrepresented voices to the table, I'd be really pleased to have your vote.
Thank you, Sherry. And again, really nice to hear someone who's taking part in the mentorship program now standing for election. Next up, we have Lucy Livesey, who's mental health nurse for Ellie's Gift, CIC. Lucy, are you there?
Hi, John. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. God, that's a tough one to follow, Sherry. Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Lucy. I'm a mental health nurse. I've been a nurse for about 11 years. I'm also an OT in training. I've worked across loads of different sectors. I've seen a lot of strengths and weaknesses. I'm really passionate about digital innovation because in 2017, myself and my husband, we lost a baby. And we unfortunately experienced a really poor provision of care. So I decided to create a digital solution and created a free baby loss app. So I did this without any funding, sheer determination, and I'm proud to say that the app is now used across various different NHS trusts in the UK, and it's present in 35 countries too. And it's just my kind of proof that digital innovation can solve real world problems. I will bring a fresh pair of eyes. I'm really passionate about advocating for people at grassroots level. I'm passionate about bridging the gap between the charity sector and the NHS. And if I was to join the panel, I really believe this is my chance to shape digital health strategies from real lived experience. I can bring my digital skills, a real deep empathy, real world knowledge, and a relentless commitment to improving patient care through digital innovation. And I would absolutely love the opportunity to mentor, collaborate, and ensure that no one is left behind in the digital era of transformation in healthcare. So please vote for me. I will definitely bring so much more to the table in terms of everything that I've got to offer. And thank you so much for listening.
Brilliant, thanks, Lucy. And I think Lucy's kind of representative of, again, that theme, that much wider kind of variety of backgrounds, experiences, more entrepreneurial kind of strands in there as well. Really interesting to see how this community continues to evolve. Next up, we have Hayley Grafton, who's been able to join us. Hi, Hayley. Are you there?
I am, and thank you so much. Sorry, I've missed some of them, but lovely to be here. Lovely to see you all.
Oh, no, but let me properly introduce you, Hayley. Hayley is CNIO, University Hospitals Leicester NHS Trust, and is the current chair of the CNIO advisory panel.
Hey, is that me, John?
Yes, sorry.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I'm Hayley. As John has said, I am an IT nurse by background, and I've been fortunate enough to be a CNIO for the past 6 years. Self-confessed nerdy nurse, so have always been buying the latest gadget rather than the latest fashion item. So really passionate about bringing my two favourite things together, which is patient care and technology. I've been fortunate enough to work at 2 different trusts, delivering many digital transformations, including 3 different EPRs actually, amongst a myriad of other things. I've also been very lucky to have a seat on the advisory panel for a couple of terms now, and more recently have been appointed as the chair. So I would really love the opportunity to have one final go at it, to help maintain momentum with the incoming new membership, and also to keep up the good work that we've been doing and achieve some of our ambitions. I think it's an amazing opportunity, and it's absolutely been instrumental in shaping me as a digital leader. These networks are absolutely invaluable, and as we all know, these jobs can be quite lonely. So very keen to keep harnessing the networks, and keep the jewel in the crown going, which is our mentorship program. As an ongoing member, I would want to keep raising the profile of our professions, especially in the state of flux we find ourselves in with the changes at NHS England, and all of the announcements recently. So I think it's really important we have strong voices at the top. I would want to keep driving forward patient-centric technologies and making sure patients are involved in both the deployment, but also that user-centered design bit, and also driving innovation with AI. I think it's really, really important we stay on the crest of that wave. I don't want to be left behind like we have been with other technologies in healthcare. So that's me. I would love to have your vote, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Hayley. Next up, we've got Jennifer Lyons, who's the Digital Clinical Lead at Northampton General Hospital NHS Trust. Jennifer, are you there?
Thanks, John, I am. And never mind following Cherie, who was amazing. How do you follow Hayley? But I'm used to that working with her. So thanks so much for having me. So yeah, I'm Jen. I'm the midwife and a digital clinical lead at the University Hospitals of Northamptonshire. My passion for digital transformation began when I was a community matron, actually, and I saw the power and the pitfalls of implementing digital systems. Since then, I've led on major digital projects, completed a master's in healthcare informatics and AI, and I chair the maternity and neonatal digital network for the Midlands, which allows me to work regionally and nationally to ensure that digital tools are fit for purpose and that we make meaningful digital changes without implementing technology just for technology's sake. I'm really passionate about maintaining my clinical work as well alongside my digital post, and I see huge benefits with this in ensuring our systems and infrastructures are fit for purpose through real-time use. I also believe digital tools should support and not burden our frontline staff. I strongly believe in the power of mentorship, and having had the fortune to have been both managed and mentored by Simon Knoll and Ramandeep Kaur. I'm also passionate about collaborative working and ensure our leaders are supported, not siloed, and that best practice is shared widely. If elected to the CNIO panel, I'll bring frontline insight, strategic leadership, and a strong collaborative voice to help shape inclusive, effective digital change for nurses, midwives, AHPs, and pharmacists. Thank you for your votes and your support.
Thank you. And moving kind of swiftly along, our next candidate is Adam McNeil, who's PQ Badger EPR lead nurse at Alderhay Children's NHS FT. Adam, are you there?
Hi there. Yeah, thanks, John. So thanks for the introduction. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm genuinely excited about the potential to contribute to the CNIO advisory panel and help shape the future of digital through clinical grounded lens. In addition to being EPR nurse, I'm the co-chair for the Northwest Digital Shared Decision Making Council, and I'm also a practicing PICU charge nurse. Staying clinically active ensures that my digital decisions I influence remain firmly connected to the realities of patient care, in addition to using my learning from Florence Nightingale, the CNIO mentorship and CHIME opportunities that I've been lucky enough to attend. One of the proudest achievements has been leading digital transition to fully paperless in an intensive care environment, how we document, share and act on information in a high acuity setting with clear improvements in safety and responsiveness. This is in conjunction with being part of the Trust acquisition to HIMSS Level 7 award. I continue to work on enhancing patient record systems, ensuring digital tools are shaped by frontline feedback and designed to support clinical effectiveness. I've also contributed to the initiatives like standardising infusions, which both impact financial efficiency, but most importantly, patient safety. If I had the chance to join the CNIO advisory panel, I'd be a valued opportunity to both contribute and grow. It aligns closely with my passions for digital transformation and would be integral to my ongoing personal and professional development, helping me learn from others, share what's worked, and become a stronger leader in this space. I believe I offer a balanced perspective, clinically active, digitally engaged, and committed to meaningful patient-focused innovation. Thank you for considering me.
Thanks, Adam. Next up, we have Fiona Mills, who's CNIO at Buckinghamshire Healthcare NHS Trust. Fiona.
Afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here today. Super impressive group of people, which is really fantastic to see. I'm also a PEDS nurse by background, so lovely to see all the PEDS representation here this afternoon. For those of you on the call that know me well, they'll know I'm a bit of an introvert, so definitely out of my comfort zone being here, but I think that is really intentional. It's things like my exposure to Rewired and things like that that's given me the inspiration to apply, so thank you very much. So as CNIO at Bucks and previously Deputy CNIO in Oxford and working in digital for the last 10 years, I've really seen firsthand how digital health solutions can make a huge difference and transform care and care delivery. This journey in nursing and digital has given me a blend of clinical and technical expertise, which has allowed me to bridge the gap between frontline healthcare and IT professionals. And that's a massive part of the job I do. Being a member of the panel would be a great opportunity to contribute on a wider scale, bringing learning from the job that I love and sharing it much more widely. I really am passionate about digital healthcare and would really love the opportunity to share this passion and drive with other people through things like mentorship. And also to continue the good work of the previous panels and see what's next, looking to see how we can go forward, promote and enhance the digital profile for everyone, including those in the non-digital space. And I think that's really, really important. I think we sometimes sort of speak as a bit of an echo chamber in digital, but actually it's taking our non-digital colleagues with us. That's the most important thing through this. I really do love the work I do. I'm super eager to bring my experience and passion and collaborative spirit to the panel. And I think that together we can drive a really meaningful change and make real advancements in the future. So thank you very much for listening. Great to be here.
Thanks, Fiona. Next up, we have Abdullahi Alihu Nagamya, who's staff nurse, Berkshire Healthcare, NHS FT. Hi there.
Hi. Thank you. I'm honored for this opportunity to put my candidacy forward. I am currently a registered nurse with a registered mental health nurse with Berkshire Healthcare. I work in Reading at PPH at the moment. So as a practicing nurse with a strong foundation in software engineering and a background in postgraduate studies in computer science, data analytics, and business administration, I bring a unique blend of clinical insight and technical expertise. I've also completed specialist training in digital clinical safety data governance, intelligent automation, as well as change management, all critical areas we need to navigate the complexity of digital transformation in healthcare. My goal, if elected, is simple but ambitious: to be a bridge between clinical practice and digital innovation. I will support fellow digital leaders across NHS Trust to help translate frontline challenges into scalable digital solutions, fostering collaborations and knowledge sharing across organizations. I am also passionate about working with our private sector partners to ensure that their solution is clinically aligned, safe, and responsive to the needs of both staff and patients. I believe the future of healthcare lies in interoperability, data-driven decision-making, and empowering clinical teams with tools that enhance and not complicate their work. As if elected to this panel, I will advocate for digital inclusivity, safe innovation, continuous learning, so that transformation is sustainable and meaningful. Thank you very much for considering me, and I'm excited for the opportunities ahead.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Cheryl O'Sullivan, who's CNIO at NHS Dorset ICB.
Hello there. Hi there, everyone. I'm Cheryl. I'm a nurse of 34 years, or I've worked for the NHS for 34 years and qualified for 31. I work in primary care. I'm also a mentee of the mentorship programme. Thank you to the lovely Hayley. I'm here today really with the ambition of trying to expand the breadth and the reach of the advisory panel into primary care. Because as everyone knows, we're shifting the focus from hospitals into communities, disease to prevention, and leveraging digital tools in primary care can make primary care very accessible, flexible, and patient-centred, as now we're looking at hybrid models of care for our patients, so not one size fits all. And with limitless digital possibilities lying ahead, my ambition, if elected to the panel, is to be the voice of our evolving primary care. And how to do this, really my passion is to foster inclusivity, as others have said as well, addressing digital poverty, affordable connectivity for some of our patients living in areas of deprivation, supporting digital skills training for everybody.
2 weeks to do.
To broaden the reach of connection to our GPNs, so that's our general practice nurses, and our HCP teams that work in general practice, so that we can inspire innovation out in the community as well and look for future digital leaders. To advocate the use of data-driven approaches to the design of care pathways that are clinically led and not technology-led, and to finally promote collaboration, sharing of knowledge and successes, or even our lessons learned, unlocking our collective power to influence and drive policy that improves both safety, patient outcomes, and also improves cross-system working. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl, and thanks to everyone for excellent kind of presentations. I know 60 seconds is no time to distill an entire career and passion, but you're doing brilliantly. Next up is Matt Phillips, who's CNIO, Royal National Orthopaedic Hospitals, NHS Trust. Matt.
Yeah, hi. Forgive me, I'm in a very echoey room. My name's Matt Phillips. I'm the CNIO and Clinical Safety Officer and a whole bunch of other hats at the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital at Stanmore. I've been in the NHS for nearly 30 years after a brief military career. 20 years of that, or 25 years of that, was clinical, and I was in critical care outreach mainly, and emergency departments and resus and a whole barrel of other things. I've been the CNIO here now for 5 years, and again, was part of the mentorship program with Sarah Newcomb at the time. Really benefited from that. I would love to become part of that program again, but as a mentor this time. And I think the main reason why I put my application for this was increasingly frustrated by the variability of the CNIO role across the country. I know there's ongoing work to sort of bring all that together and have some sort of recommendation of where the CNIO role sits. But I've been on various London and countrywide calls and meetings, and the variability of that role is just huge. And I'd love for us to be able to work together to come up with a collaborative approach, especially in this turmoil of the NHS at the moment, with the news from NHS England and the ICBs, etc. But one thing that sort of I've learned over the years is out of turmoil, they often come some great innovation, because people have to innovate and move along. And I firmly believe that nursing, and especially the digital nursing and CNIO groups, should be at the forefront of that. And if we were able to work collaboratively as one CNIO group going of the UK, going into that times, and I think we will have a far better place to have our voice heard and be able to influence those innovations that's going to come out of this. And that's the predominant reason that I put my hat into the ring.
Thanks, Matt. Next up, we have Joe Rouse, who's clinical app specialist and registered nurse at South Central Ambulance Service. If I could just politely mention, someone I think has been having the mic on in the background. There's a bit of background noise. If you could just look with your mics on mute, that would be fab. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm getting the twitch that I used to have at school when your surname begins with R, that you're right at the end of the list of people. As John said, my name's Joe. I'm the clinical app specialist at South Central Ambulance Service. Another tiny human nurse on the call as well. I'm a 2024 F&F digital scholar, and very lucky and also rather busy at the moment, 2025 Topple digital fellow as well. My desire to wanting to join the panel is just to represent the pre-hospital setting. Very often, or traditionally, the ambulance service has been not included in these conversations. And as Cheryl's already pointed out, Lord Darcy's report has indicated we need to move from hospital more into the community, of which the ambulance service does represent. I have traditionally not been known for being a particularly succinct person, so I will do my best today and just wrap up by saying the whole goal of what I'm trying to do is try and bring a whole profession and whole sector that traditionally hasn't been involved to the table so that we can have that larger MDT discussion.
Brilliant. Thanks, Joe. Great to have ambulance service represented. Next up is Shella Sandoval, who's CNIO at Eastern North Hertfordshire. Shella, are you there?
I am here indeed. I know the feeling, Joe. Thank you. So I'm a renal nurse by background, and many moons ago, I will not tell you when because I'll share my age. I was working as a nurse specialist, and Pass and Order Comms was introduced in my trust. On the day of go live, I stormed out of clinic, unhappy that this new system has slowed me down, and I think that rings a bell with everybody. So how did I end up becoming a CNIO? Those I work with will tell you that I am naturally curious, so I channeled all my energy in understanding this really annoying new system, and the results totally changed the way I work. So digital gave me access to information I never had before, and it improved how I care for my patients and my teams, and it propelled my career as well. So as a nurse leader, if I can help others feel the way that renal CNS did, whether you work in primary care, ambulance service, acute trust, or you're in a specialist area, mental health, that person who's empowered, fulfilled, someone who felt and knew that she was making a difference, then that's my job done. It is something that I really want to advocate for and influence wider if I am successfully elected as panel member. So if you can relate to my story and you've been motivated by my passion for leadership and digital, I hope you will consider reading my bio, and I hope you will definitely consider voting for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Shella. You definitely get an extra mark for mentioning your bio. That's a good reference link back. Next up, we have Salu Sridevi, a registered nurse at Birmingham Women's and Children's. A busy week for Salu, I think. Haven't you got an epic go live this week? Salu, are you there?
Yes, thank you, John. Yes, I know it's go live today, but unfortunately, I'm not in that post anymore. I've just recently completed, it was a fixed term contract for me. And so I was covering a maternity leave. So hello everyone, I'm Shalu Sridevi. I'm an internationally educated nurse from India. I have 13 years of NHS experience where I have served as a theatre practitioner, which I still keep in touch. And I also have handled few different digital roles in the recent years, including a fixed term CNIO post, which John just mentioned about. I was supporting an EPR implementation, and that we were going live today. So as this contract ends, I'm soon moving into George Eliot Hospital, Nuneaton, as a senior clinical informatics nurse to be a part of another exciting EPR implementation. I had the privilege of being an honorary member in the current CNIO panel for the last year as a jury representative, and I was completely inspired by the teamwork, collaboration, and dedication this team possessed, and that is why I'm here. I have also completed my CNIO mentoring program with digital health. That has helped me vastly to attain the CNIO role, which I just enjoyed recently. I was also awarded the Rising Star from Zenith Global Health and nominated for the same by another network. Being a jury member, I follow the motto "Lift as you climb," and has inspired many of my fellow nurses into digital career by mentoring and guiding them to my best possible abilities. As a frontline nurse and digital leader, I have seen how powerful technology can be, especially when it is evidence based, inclusive, and co designed by those who deliver and receive care. I strongly feel that nurses' voice matters in shaping the future of digital healthcare, and we cannot assume digital is always better or safe. We have to prove it, adopt it, and ask tough questions, research to identify the pros and cons. I also have a keen interest in improving digital literacy across the NHS. Establishing and nurturing digital champions is something very much close to my heart. And this is something I have, it was a common project in all my digital roles. I love networking and is very good at keeping my connections alive to work in collaboration or learn from shared experience without reinventing the wheel. I look forward to be a part of the CNI advisory panel to champion nursing voice, advocate for thoughtful, evidence-informed digital healthcare solutions, and also ensure patients, carers, and staff remains at the core of innovation. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Salu. Two more left, and we have a video which I'll take as the last one. So next up is Joe Witchard, who's lead digital midwife at Gloucestershire Hospitals. Joe, hi there.
Hello, hi. Last but not quite least, apparently. Yeah, so I'm Jo, lead digital midwife at Gloucestershire. It's really great to see so many of my digital midwife colleagues here. So hopefully one of us wins. I've realised over my career as a midwife and now in digital that we've inherited a really patriarchal healthcare system, one that has historically excluded women from clinical trials, even in areas that are directly related to women's health. But today, with maternity electronic patient records being rolled out up and down the country, we're finally beginning to collect the rich structured data that we need to change that. And for the first time, we have the potential to answer complex, long-standing questions like why Black and brown women are still 5 times more likely to die during pregnancy and childbirth. But it all starts with good quality data at the point of care, and that's where my role comes in. At my trust, we implemented a maternity EPR around 2 years ago, and we're now swimming in meaningful data. I believe that we're at a turning point, one where digital leadership can close the gender data gap and provide some improvement outcomes for women. And that's the sort of future I want to shape on this panel.
Brilliant, thanks, Joe. And our final kind of presentation is a video one from Amy Verchel, who is Chief Clinical Information Officer for Nursing AHPs at the Christie. Lauren, if you could do the honours.
Hi, I'm Amy Verchel and I am the Chief Clinical Information Officer for Nursing and Allied Health Professionals at the Christie. As a very proud and passionate cancer nurse, I am committed to ensuring that we can provide the highest quality of care to our patients, and I know that digital technology is the key tenet to achieving this. So this potential opportunity to connect and collaborate with peers across the country is so exciting. We have such an immense contribution to bring to our health service, and The CNIO advisory panel is so well positioned to act as a bridge between local, regional and national digital health agendas. And we need to ensure that the nursing voice is heard loud and clear. I am excited as a digital leader to work with peers to share learning, promote collaboration and advocate for our colleagues and our patients. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. 58 seconds, almost pitch perfect there. That is all of the presentations today. Thank you so much, everyone. I know that's been a lot of presentations to get through. A reminder to everyone who's viewing this as they deliberate who to vote for. The details and the video will be on Discourse. I think they'll also go on the final mailer this week as well. You're encouraged to vote online. Pick your 12 candidates you want to serve for the next 2 years on the CNIO advisory panel. We clearly have far more talent than the 12 places available. So I know that Lauren has been talking with the current panel about plans to invite more of the candidates to come and take part, particularly in some of the programs and activities that the advisory panel had. So what I'd say to everyone kind of today on the call is that I hope you're going to be elected. I wish you could all be elected. But should you not be chosen this time, then we would almost certainly love to kind of ask you to come and work with the panel over the next couple of years. So good luck at the hustings. The voters can be a fickle old lot, but you're all great, and I wish you all the very, very best. Thank you so much for joining today. That concludes the CNIO Advisory Panel hustings.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.